Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday. Welcome to this episode of Unsealed. I am Kate Dillon, and I'm here today with Steve Hendren from Hendren Racing Engines. And, of course, I am Kate Dillon from CrateInsider.com and also CrateDillon.com. So, Steve, tell us.
You're like two different people.
I'm all kinds of people, actually. I'm a whole bunch of people. We're trying something new today. It's funny because our background looks like we're almost a split screen, but we are actually sitting right next to each other.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. It almost looks like we're two different locations. Right. Yeah, we're trying to block out the sun a little bit.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what
Not that we want to, because it's actually nice.
No,
yesterday
it's
was like a rainy
gorgeous.
Day, so.
It's gorgeous today, and I'm so excited about that it's a nice, beautiful day. But go ahead and jump into the comments here and just there we go. So we're of course live.
It's actually working?
Yes. It's working.
Not like last week where we talked for 10 minutes and then like nothing happened and we're like, oh.
Because I forgot to push the go live button. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I'm actually playing around with some new equipment now. So I have my camera hooked up. Yeah. And I don't know, it's a little choppy. We'll have to see how it's going.
Do I look younger in this new camera?
Yeah, you do. It's got a smoothing effect.
All right, cool.
Yeah, almost like portrait.
Smooth out the wrinkles.
Actually, we might have to play around with a different lens. Yeah, I've actually been playing around with StreamYard all day today, and yeah, this is my new Black Magic ATEM design. Now that we've got one camera working, I can actually go up to 4 cameras. I could do like a close up on your face if you say something really like impactful or important. I could. I know. Oh, for anybody who's just listening, he's just looking at me. He's giving me the look. Tell me, Steve, how was your week?
Good.
You had a great, come on, it's more than good. It's freaking phenomenal.
I did a thing.
You did a thing. Tell us all about the thing that you did.
I bought a car.
You didn't, okay.
Not a race car, but I bought a car.
Saying you bought a car is like me saying that I got a job. I mean, like, either I got a job at McDonald's versus like, well, I was just promoted to be the CEO of like a Fortune 500 company. I mean, no, you didn't just get a car. You got a badass 2021 Dodge Charger Scat Pack something.
I got the car I wanted.
Yes, it's beautiful. Well, I'm very excited for you. Yeah, so I'm really excited for you for sure. I see some folks here. We've got David saying, hey, how's your Sunday going? It's going good. It's a beautiful day. Actually got some work done around the house. Well, I should say work around the house. I shot a few videos today. But that is work around the house for me. We're S&K. Scott says, hi, S&K from California. Scott's here. Bruce is here. And Doug is here, and Darren, I saw Darren. He lives in California. I saw he was making his way back to Alaska. He cooks for some of these.
Up to Alaska, you mean? Yeah. You said back to, but up to.
Well, no, back to, because during coronavirus, he was in Alaska, like cooking for, like, I don't know if it was like fire rescue or something.
Oh, okay.
He's a race car driver, and he was up there.
So he was like stuck.
Yeah, he was up there. He had to quarantine, and then he was cooking all this amazing food for like the fire service up there.
Gotcha.
And so I saw where he's going. He came back to California and he was racing a little bit, and then now he's headed back up to Alaska. I saw that. It was kind of a trip. I mean, it's just interesting. I love seeing the interesting things that our friends do. Mm-hmm. You know, it's really a cool thing. A race car driver who's also does cooking for the fire service. And Darren, you can definitely correct. You can actually tell the truth about what it is that you do.
She probably lied.
Since I sort of made something up there, but yeah. And Jeff says, hey, Steve and Kate, any news on getting new 604s? I don't think we have we're just in waiting. We're in waiting mode right now.
One of my dealers I talk to quite a bit, like daily. I heard now like close to July.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ouch.
Can't confirm if it's true or not. Just heard close to July.
Yeah. Oh, and Roy's on his way driving home.
So take care of what you got.
Definitely take care of what you got.
You got one, take care of it.
Man, I'll tell you, I was just looking today. I was looking at one of my suppliers, Motor State, and I just scan the list every single day of the things that I buy from them to see if I can. And
what, they don't have wheels?
No, they don't have wheels. I have those. I have a pallet of those.
Sorry.
Yeah. But like I can't order oil filters. There's just a lot of stuff in there that is out of stock, and I watch it every single day. Definitely take care of your stuff. It's definitely the truth. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I'm going to jump into more comments here, but Steve, what are you drinking today?
We both had like margaritas earlier.
Okay, there's actually one good thing that came out of like the coronavirus. Well, there's 2 things, 3 things. I don't know.
Yeah, you can order your shit to go.
Yeah, you showed up with like margaritas to go. So I'm drinking a strawberry and lime margarita.
To go from Don Ramon's in Forest City, North Carolina. So if you're ever here, go there. That's my favorite restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That
was a nice little
Copper Penny.
Yeah. Earlier this week, I had a flight of mimosas.
And where we're going to go later
is Amendment 21. Yeah. Amendment 21, which is great. So we love our restaurants in our local community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw my hat in my closet today, and I was like, yeah, I was totally wearing hats during our podcast last year because I couldn't get my hair cut.
What's that pattern called? This
is houndstooth.
Houndstooth, yeah.
And you know what? This is the same houndstooth pattern as what's in the seats of your new Charger.
It is, actually.
It is, except it's not black and white. It's gray and gray.
Yeah.
And it's freaking beautiful.
The big bumblebee on there.
Oh, my God. It's so beautiful. I didn't think I'd get that excited about a car, but dang, I'm excited about that car.
It's a panty dropper. Just saying.
It's the truth. It's I'm gonna say that is absolutely true. Now that actually brings us to Scott's question, who says, is the rumor true? Triple T, as in other words, terrible, terrific Tori got the old ride.
She did. Well, I wouldn't even call it the old ride because it's pretty fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a 2014 Avenger.
So evil assistant Tori scored my last car.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doug says,
at an amazing deal, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
because it's evil assistant Tori.
Yes. Amazing assistant Tori.
And we take care of our own.
Oh, of course we do. Absolutely. Doug says, when's the last shipment of NGK you got? Gosh, I think that was about a month ago or so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worse than Autolite right now.
Oh, way worse. But that's not the first time. So, this NGKs is one of those where I order a bunch of them at a time, and then we'll go months and not be able to get them. Yeah. So it's weird, but I am, of course, out of them. And he says his doubled in price. Now, I haven't made...
It wouldn't surprise me.
I really haven't made any adjustments to pricing other than what manufacturers are...
try buying an MSD distributor right now.
Well, I have a few of those.
Yeah, I know you have got a few, but I'm saying it's like virtually impossible.
Oh, you can't buy. No, not available on the market. No. Terry says, "Hi guys. He's here from close to Iowa."
Close to Iowa.
So for anybody that's new to our show,
I don't know where Iowa is, but
Steve
if it's close to it, it's somewhere probably in the Midwest. It does, this.
Well, Steve questions whether Iowa exists as a place.
I seriously
do. Of course, I grew up there, so it exists. But I guess we just have running jokes on the show.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
I know it's a place. I just still question whether it exists or not because everybody claims to be from there, or like a lot of people do. But I've never been there, so I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, that's the whole I can't see you, so you don't exist. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. All right. Way to go. Way to go. Okay, so we've gone through the major questions of how was your weekend and what are you drinking?
Right.
That's pretty much all I got.
We're fucked.
Any big questions that you've received this week that you feel like would be good to share?
Trying to think. I've had a couple of questions on like E85. Mm-hmm. Not meaning to talk fuel because avgas is the way to go, according to that fucking jackass a couple weeks ago. But no, a couple of questions on E85 and main thing is like from brand to brand, what's best and I'm gonna go with I still go with VP because I'm a VP guy. But there's Renegade makes a good E85, Base does. I'm sure Sunoco does. Any of these major manufacturers are going to use a really good base stock. So if you're using a good base stock, it's going to be good E85. The main thing is like what's affordable in your area and, what is most consistent. Oh,
and I think you really hit on something that's really important is what's available in your area.
Right.
And especially at a reasonable price point, because it's not such a marked difference that it's worth it to, ship it all the way across the country or something.
No.
If you can get it someplace locally. Great. And Susie is here. Oh, and Terry's in South Dakota. Now, I'm sure you've heard of South Dakota.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely know where South Dakota is.
He said he was close to Iowa, but he's actually from South Dakota. All right. And we've got a question here. So, that's right, because, of course, here I am. Arla says, in the market for a 602, blew my engine. Y'all don't know anybody, do you? Want one of them cheated up chilada burning mofos.
No. I don't know anybody selling a 602 right now, unfortunately. Like the used market right now is like bare.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people come out of the woodworks. I mean, I've gotten a couple calls this week, like somebody like trying to sell like a 2012 one of my engines. It was fast track sealed for like some stupid amount of money. And I'm like, nah. I mean,
wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, there's the used market is like overpriced right now just because of supply and demand.
Well, it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think part of that too is what are you willing to pay? I mean, obviously, you don't want to have like $500 generators going for $5,000 because there's a hurricane. I mean, that's a total jerk move.
Well, it's kind of what's going on with the whole 602, 604 market right now.
Is it? But it's not that.
I mean, not that bad, but I mean, it's a bit, stupid.
Yeah. I mean, when you need it, you need it. I mean, I know I ran into it with just buying furniture for my new Airbnb. I paid more for some of the things than what I was really wanting to pay,
right.
But I'd rather have it today than to wait 30 weeks for it. So I'm willing to do that as long as I'm not getting completely gouged. It's one thing to go from $700 for a sofa up to $1,100, but it's a whole different deal going from $700 to $7,000. Then be a no-go. I'd figure out a different.
Now, the one thing I am excited about is we actually have like all of our customers run back order for new engines. I've got them all covered.
Oh, good.
Be it 604 or 602.
Okay. So, good deal.
Pretty excited about that, honestly.
Our buddy Steve
Now we just got to rebuild engines.
Yeah. Steve says, another Sunday, another question. Flat, big, half mile, still 7 quarts of oil? Well, let me get through the question because remember, this is a podcast as well. When we talk against each other, they can't hear it. Yeah. But still 7 quarts of oil, even if it's a bigger track.
100%. Yeah.
Yes. So good question.
Yeah, I mean, RPM's RPM, and motor's only going to pump so much oil. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a quarter mile or a half mile. It's going to use the same amount of oil.
And banking? Does banking make any difference?
No. Huh.
Okay.
No, because of G-forces, because everything goes to the right, and the pickup's on the right of the pan. So.
Oh.
No, it doesn't make a difference.
Well, I mean, that seemed like it would be a valid question.
Right.
It's something we run into with carburetors. Yeah. Ooh, here, I'm just seeing the first part of the question. Chris says, what's the future of crate racing look like with GM stating they're going to phase out gas-powered cars?
I think it'll remain the same because it's like one of the few, it's honestly one of the few parts of GM that actually makes money. So I don't see it going away anytime soon.
I think that there are.
We're talking road vehicles, not race cars. I mean, race cars. I mean, if you're going like, if you want to talk like green bullshit, we're talking race cars probably amount to, I don't know, 1/10 of 1% of any pollution going in the atmosphere. So I don't see them doing anything with that.
Well, I think the important thing to look at is to look at the environment in which we live today. I don't think that they are getting rid of crate engines anytime soon. I think for the greater masses that's what media wants to hear right now. I think even if they said anything, unless they were in trouble with the media,
it's like it's about on the same par as Coca-Cola saying
whatever they say.
Oh yeah, blah blah blah. Georgia's new election laws suck. I mean, they're going to kind of pretty much go with the way the wind's blowing. And right now the wind's blowing towards that. The wind's blowing left right now. So I think they're going to go left.
Well, and it's really unfortunate because there are some great
as they move all their plants back to Mexico again, I'm sure.
Or everywhere else. Not
else.
Here. Yeah.
Well, I was talking to a friend of mine today at a restaurant, and she was saying that, one of the companies that they do a lot of work for, which is like Train Air Conditioning, that like they were fixing to move everything to Mexico. And then Trump came in office and they decided to stay, and now they're gearing up to move everything to Mexico again.
Well, we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, well, exactly. So,
I mean, we have a whole town of where that happened.
Correct.
This is
so good job, everybody who voted the wrong way.
Well, I mean, I don't think it has to do there, but I think, the unfortunate thing is that when something is overly publicized, that it becomes toxic in its own way.
Right.
And it's really too bad, because I think there's a lot of great strides that could be made, but if it's just shoved down people's throats, they're going to be more resistant to it. I want the coolest, newest gadget, but if you tell me that I'm a terrible person if I don't buy the newest, latest gadget and all of that, then just the environment is not a good environment, regardless. Okay. Darren says he's considering running the Duel in the Desert in November. Is there a good way to figure out what rear gear I need without blowing up my motor?
Ooh.
He's running a stock car, and that's going to, of course, Duel in the Desert would be in Arizona.
I mean, ask people who have ran there.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't. I mean, that's pretty much what I mean. Ask like 10 people who have ran there, and like divide it by 10, and that's going to be your starting gear point, is what I'm getting at. Because I mean, if you ask me what I run at a certain track, I'm going to tell you honestly. But then if you ask like somebody else, they're going to tell you honestly, more than likely. But like somewhere in the middle lies the truth for what you might need. So I would ask 10 different people, get 10 different answers, and divide it by 10 and start there.
Well, I might actually reach out to somebody who goes to a lot of these as well.
In other words, an average.
I get that. But for a good resource, I'd probably talk to like Ben from AFCO.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ben just goes to a lot of these places, and he doesn't have any skin in the game on that. I would say talk to Pat at Fast Shafts, because Pat also just his convenience. He's buddies with PEM.
Yep.
And of course, I got connected with PEM because of Pat at Fast Shafts. And so Pat might have, he travels to a lot of these. I would go to some of these manufacturers that actually travel to these events, and that may or may not have, whether they sell a product or not.
They know, so
right, and be really connected. Rather than obviously you can reach out to racers, get a couple of answers, and then when you talk to those guys, then they can tell you honestly, like, yeah, this is. No, that's some really terrible information, or that's good information.
Well, I mean, when I first moved here to North Carolina, back in '95, we were going to race super late models at Cherokee Speedway in Gaffney, South Carolina, back when the track was a real racetrack. So it was like a big half mile, probably like a 5/8. Mm-hmm. I'd never been on that anything like that in my life, and so I called the promoter. I'm like, hey, what's the starting gear ratio? Which a promoter is a good place to start. And he's like, well, let me refer you to Mike Duval. So I called Duval, which is the first time I ever talked to him. And Duval's like, oh, yeah, here's what you need. What size motor you got, and blah, blah, blah. And I was in the ballpark when I went there. I mean, it wasn't perfect. I mean, we had to adjust, but
yeah,
it was,
Well, didn't you hear from another racer and they put you way out in the left field too?
Oh, I've had that happen, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had that happen going to other tracks other than Gaffney. I mean, back in the day, pretty much like Petey Ivy, Mike Duval, all them guys, they were like good sports. They'd help anybody that came there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Kale has a question here. He says, Steve, mufflers on a 3/8 mile 604 or a half mile track 604? Yes.
Well, what kind of muffler? Are we talking we have to meet a sound decibel rule, or are we talking like our anti-reversion stuff?
That's a good question. We'll come back to that. Then Todd says, flat bottom valve stack air cleaner base. Any advantage on a 1/4 or 3/8 inch 3/8 track, Antioch Ocean? Never heard of a valve stack.
Never heard of that. No. I can tell you the one she sells, which Dave Hammond makes them for us, which is the powder coated ones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's shit, man. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the plain ones as well, which are a little bit cheaper price point, mm-hmm. which we have somebody else make for us. Mm-hmm. And they're a good piece as well. Me personally, I would go with the powder coated one because it's much thicker. I mean, it's going to outlast your race car. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of the cheaper price point ones.
Yeah, we had to start somewhere. So
no, we did.
Yeah. And then I know with the powder coated ones, it's American aluminum and it's powder coated and it's like twice.
Oh, it's 100% American made.
Yeah.
American.
So it's kind of yeah. Stop swearing.
Which is Dave.
Yeah, I know. Well,
who's from that place I don't even know exists, but
yeah, that is it.
I know Dave exists.
Dave.
So that is like one selling point for Iowa.
Yeah, the things that end up being like the running jokes on the show just crack me up. Speaking of the show, hey, do us a favor and go over to iTunes especially if you've got an Apple iPhone and give us a 5-star rating, leave a review for Racing Insiders podcast, which is what this turns into. Of course, we're live right now, and we or if you're listening on the podcast, give us a review. I mean, that would be really great. Or if you're on YouTube. Gosh, I'm a full margarita in here, but if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe. Yeah, but the margaritas, when it's like 32 ounces of margarita, that's a lot of
freaking good.
Yeah, I know, but I'm stumbling. But anyway, please hit that subscribe button, and that would help our channel for sure. So trying to boost our channel here.
Promote.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, words. And I see James is here and Cash is here and
Cash.
Cash
Wilson?
is here. Yep.
All right, the man with the rear end that he can't keep together.
Wow, I don't know where that's going.
No, it's not being pervy.
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying I've never heard of a dude blowing up 5 rear ends in 8 races.
What?
Yeah.
How?
He has had the shittiest luck with rear ends. It's like ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
We were talking the other day on the phone because I'm like trying to get Andy at Pro Fabrication to get his headers to him, but we're waiting on the collector guy to come back from having the COVID. So
yeah, I'm waiting on some collectors as well. All right, back to the muffler question. Kale says, no, just any. There's no sound rule. He says, I guess the question is open header versus muffler on those size tracks on a half mile or 3/8.
Open exhaust with the anti-reversion muffler we make, or I don't make them. Well, we designed them. Pro Fabrication makes them for us. Yeah. Absolutely, that's going to be your best bet. I mean, the low to mid-range torque you can't give up. Top end horsepower you sacrifice none. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely go with that. And where it really helps is starts, restarts, coming off the corner if the motor's lugged down, stuff like that.
Good to know. Oh,
and we've got those racing everything from street stocks up to freaking World Outlaw sprint cars.
Mm-hmm. Man, did you see that? I guess the average speed of the sprint cars at Bristol was like 134 miles an hour.
Yeah, which is like
that's average.
It's like about 10 miles an hour faster than the super late models. So, man, it's pretty awesome. I mean,
I didn't watch the racing. Yeah. I didn't see who won or anything.
So, I mean, you got to figure average is your corner speed.
Okay.
I would hate to see what their straightaway speed is.
Golly. Ooh, I hope they come back I hope they're in Charlotte in May. I haven't really looked. It's almost May. Can you believe it's almost May?
I would still get my left nut to get the sprint car.
How much horsepower do they have?
And that's my good one.
I know.
Not the one that got wrecked back in 1991.
Wow. Should we just rename this the TMI show?
Well, I mean, crotch straps have their purpose, but just not when you get in that kind of wreck. And then they
not so good.
Squish things.
Oh. I feel like that should be a song now. All right. Got a new question.
It could be a country song.
It could. Went down straight away.
I want my nut back.
I lost my nut on turn 3.
Right. There you go.
I wish somebody would give it back to me.
See? You're going to Nashville next week. Recording a song.
Oh, man. All right, we got a new one. Charles asks Steve, what's your Biden rant today?
Somebody just had to ask, didn't they?
I am putting it up on the screen because I didn't ask the question. Some things I just don't even ask anymore. I don't know. There's so many things. I don't even pay attention.
Do we want to get banned from YouTube or not?
No, we don't want to get banned
Okay,
from YouTube.
I will say that I'm waiting on Maricopa County, Arizona, to do their forensic investigation.
Oh, I didn't even. I mean, I'm just like so out of the loop because
which the Democrats are trying to stop.
Oh well, yeah,
for obvious reasons.
Of course, yeah. I can only imagine. I don't know. I mean, it's just one new thing after another.
Well, I mean, you got to stop it because you don't want to see what happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just really sad because it's the one thing America has. It's the one thing we can believe in.
The integrity of our elections.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's the one idea. America's not a place. America's an idea.
Of course, the thing that amazes me is like Democrats are like the most racist people in the entire world because they assume that black people and brown people cannot go to their local DMV and get an ID.
Yeah.
Which would allow them to vote.
Yeah.
Which is like the whole Georgia thing right now.
I know. Yeah.
So, I'm pretty confident that everybody in this world is smart enough to know how to get an ID since you need one for every fucking thing. Mm-hmm. I needed an ID to buy this beer right here.
Mm. Yeah.
You need an ID to board an airplane.
I do.
So.
Hey, I got my passport.
Oh, yeah. Well, now you got that. Now you just got to have a passport. You don't need a DMV ID.
Yeah, I don't. But no, I got my passport renewed. And it was so yesterday I go to the mailbox and I get my mail and there's one thing like says from the U.S. government. And I was like, oh, what the hell now? Well, it just said U.S. government. And I was like, what now? I mean,
that was your passport.
I try to stay on top of all these tax things and all of that. And, I have to file all that. No, and I opened it up. It was my passport.
Oh.
But it's like a terrible passport photo because I just went to the CVS here and they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me smile. and it was all that top-down fluorescent light. I look at least 15 years older. I mean, if it had been me, I would have been there with like.
It's a good thing your passport's good for 10 years.
No kidding, because I'm still going to look in 10 years' time.
You look the same.
I'm still going to look younger than I do in my passport. It's terrible. The photo is terrible, but because my last one I was smiling,
right?
And they're like, we can't. They won't approve of you. You can't smile. Can't smile. And I was like, so I'm over here, which just deadpan face.
Well, to be fair, I've traveled through a lot of countries in the world,
mm-hmm.
and nobody ever smiles when they're walking through passport control. Which is
but I do.
Do that.
So they're like, anytime they look at my thing, I'm like,
a full body cavity search. Trust me, if you're smiling going through passport control, you're like getting the full body cavity search.
They don't need to do that anymore because they've got the naked machine.
Well,
so, that's what I always call it anyway, the x-ray machine. I just call it the naked machine where you put your hands up and it's like...
Kate's like smiling underwire.
Yeah.
In the bra.
Yeah. Yeah, they always, for whatever reason, have to check my right shoulder. Oh, man, we're going to need you to step aside. And they're like, yeah, no, that's just wires. Just wires. That's all that is. They're like, I can assure you I didn't hide anything else in here. Yeah.
There's nothing else to hide in there, to be fair.
There's no more room. There's no room to hide anything. I'd have to be wearing a much larger shirt. Although that was the thing back when I was in high school, just kind of give I don't know. I'm sure statute of limitations for underage drinking is completely expired at this point.
Sure.
So yeah, no, that's how I used to sneak in a little bit of something, just kind of put it underneath my bra strap in the front and then wear a baggy shirt. Oh yeah. Yeah. Pull out your bottle of whatever. Yeah, I was a little thinner in the midsection back then, but the top part hadn't changed. So yeah, you never knew. Yeah, there's good sides and bad sides of being a little on the busty side. So a little. We're just gonna go little. All right. Oh, so Kale says back to Bristol here. He says David Gravel sweeps the week at Bristol.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. Okay. Let's see. Doug Smith says, in the entire country, less than 3 million total people have no ID. So the entire argument is invalid.
Exactly.
I agree.
And those 3 million people are like the ones that want to be off the grid, probably.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, you can barely buy. You're not going to be able to buy. Hopefully, you don't have allergies. Hopefully you don't smoke or drink.
Yeah, because you got to show your ID to buy a freaking Claret D.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's why I send Alex.
Great. So it's gonna look like what are you doing? What are you doing with the Claret D? Yeah.
Me and Mike and Alex were actually at the shop the other day, and we're like counting the days since the last time he bought Claret D, because he went down the last time and bought it for all three of us. And then we're like, we're gonna send Alex. Me and Mike were too busy, and we're gonna send Alex to get Claret D, because me and him were like sneezing and coughing and hacking. He's like, so we went to the calendar. We're like, all right, he bought it this day. It's 1, 2, 3, 10 days. Yep, he's fucking good. Send him down. So Alex is our Claret D buyer.
Man, it almost feels like you're like doing a drug deal to go buy Claret D, though.
That's what it's like.
Yeah, it is.
You gotta show your freaking ID, and then they have to scan it. Yeah. And then if you bought too many in the last 10 days or whatever,
yeah,
it kicks you out and you can't buy any. So then you gotta shoulder tap your friend to go in and buy your Claret D for you.
Hey, buddy. No, yeah.
Seriously.
See that 1/8 inch of pollen that's sitting in my car since yesterday?
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to need the Claret D. Yeah.
Exactly.
Get the Claret D hookup.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh.
We're all too fat to make meth, so, I mean, come on.
Wow. I mean, we're getting all the bases. We're just gun chat away from getting kicked off of YouTube here. So, yeah. Great. Thanks, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah. Any questions you guys have, feel free to drop them in. That's really what we're here for. I mean, we're here to have a good time and just chat and talk about current events or whatever. But
or if there's no questions, we're good, man. We'll be like out and up at Amendment 21.
Well, it's a little early.
Well, I know that.
It's a little early. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And let's see. I think we put out some videos this week as well. I can't remember what they all were, though. I was looking at the dirt car lift. The Eco Lift. Did a video with Cody when we were at Bristol, and we put that out this week. I'm going to have some of our testimonial videos from Race Logic, and
oh, good.
Yeah. So found those. Yeah, I kind of had a server thing going on where we thought the server ate our files, but we found them. So that was good.
Good.
Found them, recovered them, and in fact, I know Steve Peden was on our broadcast earlier, but we're going to have that interview coming out because I interviewed Steve.
Did you really?
At the thing, yeah. And so on day 2.
Well, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that'll be good. And I think Michael Smith, I interviewed him as well. He's been a long time Crate Insider supporter.
Yep, absolutely.
So pretty cool. We got a couple of those interviews. Just have to get them edited and out the door.
Well, get your shit together. Get to work.
Yeah, I know. Because I don't do anything.
Tell evil assistant Tori to do something.
Yeah. Why don't I do that? Yeah, because she. Yeah. I know you guys don't have any idea what we do.
Then you still have to plan the whole new warehouse.
Yeah, there's that.
You tell them about that.
No, I haven't said anything about that yet.
Well, tell them about it.
I'm gonna have a new warehouse. Yeah. Yeah, but
that was short and quick, but
yeah. Well, Crate Insider, we've expanded. We're
expanding.
Well, we have expanded.
You're expanding, sir.
Well, I've expanded in that the fact that all my stuff has been at your shop for 7 years. And, what started with a little 4-foot section of shelf that I cleared out has turned into where I order pallets of things now. So it's gotten a bit much. So you're like, you need your own place. And so I'm going to be renting it was a former oil change place. So it'll be I'll be a little creative. I'm going to be covering up the pits with pallet racking. So that'll be fun. And so we'll be taking a look at that.
But you'll have your own destination and you get to leave the house every day and go to that place to do your thing.
Well, not necessarily. My office is still here.
Oh, okay.
This is HQ.
Okay.
This is HQ. Your place is the shop. And the new place is the warehouse.
Okay.
So they all have names now. So this is HQ. We're at the international headquarters of Crate Insider right now.
Jesus Christ.
HQ.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right.
It's where the air conditioning's at.
Well, I will have. Yeah, there's air conditioning in all the places, and not in the shop. Just in your office. There's air conditioning here.
Where I put my motors together.
Yeah, there is. All right. So Tim says, Tim, I tried to call you back. Tim and I need to get together on the phone. From Boyd Build. He says, Walker base or Dave's base on a 602. Well, and my base and Dave's base are the same. and we've tried out the
Yes.
walker. But I'll let you answer the question.
Well, yeah. I mean, we gave Dave the base to make.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No comparison. Walker base, no, not at all. 602. Yeah, I mean, no, the Walker base doesn't even compare.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've had some people, please don't do this. Please don't buy the Crate Insider base and then the Walker top. Because that is like the worst combination. That's worse than the Walker base with the Walker top on a crate motor.
Wow.
So the Walker base and the Walker top belong on super late models.
I actually pulled them from the website.
Power does not make a shit bit of difference.
Yeah.
Okay? What we're doing with like 602, 604s, 525s, we need as much as we can possibly produce.
Mm-hmm.
So none of the... we use Walker everything. I ain't throwing off on it. I'm just saying what the dyno will tell you and what on-track performance will tell you is you need our base with either our top or any other top. Any other top works fine. You don't have to buy that top from Crate Insider.
Mm-hmm.
So any other top works fine. But do not take our base or Crate Insider base and use it with a Walker top, because that is just horrible.
Well, it's because of the confusion that I pulled it, because we did make a video. I made a video with Ben Walker from Walker talking about what would be the circumstances in which you would use the Walker base and lid.
Right.
And it was not to get the most horsepower out of a crate engine.
Not.
It's clearly on there. It's really for what we talk about in that video is if you're on a track, let's say Volusia, where it has those straightaways and you're
big half mile,
going way crazy fast, and you're jostling around and the fuel is splashing up through the carburetor and it's coming through the air filter and hitting the driver.
Well, the air is doing this, yeah.
Right. And that's the situation you find yourself in. That's why you would go with like the dropped Walker base.
At no time in crate racing history has that been an issue. Super late model, I can see it happen.
But we do have 525s as customers on the website.
Even 525s, I don't see it happen.
Well, you were there. You said it was fine to get it. So anyway, I don't have it anymore. I sold all of those. I mean, well, also my phone was ringing. People are like, well, you're a Walker dealer. Will you sell this? And so I brought those in and people just wanted them. So yeah, but as far as performance goes on a crate engine, I mean, it's great for what it is, but on a crate,
I'm sure the product works just fine. I mean, everything Walker makes works, but it's like,
well, it works for what though?
Specific for what it's designed for. It wasn't designed for crates.
No,
it was designed for super late models.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, at Bristol, not super late models at Podunk, Iowa racetrack. Mm-hmm. You know, or not crate late models on a half-mile track. I mean, it doesn't freaking work.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I can show it to people all day long on the dyno, and they can go test it back to back on the racetrack, and they'll notice the same thing. So,
Christopher says, he says hi from Monterey, California.
Yep.
And JP2 won on Friday at Watsonville.
Wow, old man fucking won again. How about that?
Jim Pettit, right?
Yep.
The second.
Yep.
Okay.
Second.
Chris says West Virginia Motor Speedway is about to start. Y'all watching tonight? I don't think we'll be watching, but that's great that they're starting up. I mean, isn't that like a new something that's like? There's some story with the West Virginia Motor Speedway. I forget what's going on. There's like
they were like open and then closed and like
maybe
bunch
it's
of
like
weird
a
shit.
new or like, but I think it's a new owner. Maybe I don't know. It's hard to stay on top of absolutely everything. Let's see. Oh, Chastity says, any idea on the wait time on the 602 matched valve springs? I did get 602 springs in. I'm expecting to have. Yeah. I have an assload of them sitting at the shop in the front area.
Yeah. All right. So you can put them on the site then.
Yeah, but I need them matched first. So
I mean, worst comes to worst, we can match them as they go out.
Okay. So yeah, they'll be
because we do the matching for her.
Right.
But we've been so far behind. I mean, it's like it's a conglomeration of shit, basically.
Yeah.
Can't get them, then you can get them, and then we're busy and we can't match them and that kind of thing. But a lot of times we'll match them as they go out the door.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, that's good. All right. And Tim Sarah says, thanks for the info on the bases. He'll get with me tomorrow. Yeah. So that's good. Any other questions you guys have, feel free to drop them in. I mean, we really love to answer the questions, and it can be whether it's straight up racing or just random stuff that you want to know from, I don't know, whatever. I like to talk about all kinds of things. Not just a one-trick pony here.
That's how we started the whole thing. It was like just sitting here shooting the shit about lame crap.
Yeah.
While we were locked down, like bored as shit. So
I know, that's why I kind of felt like I wanted to bring the hat back. Because
that's right. The hat was a thing.
My hats were a thing because I couldn't, because I'm not 20 anymore. So I couldn't get my roots done because you couldn't get a haircut back then. And my gray hair, I refused to show any of my gray hair on a video.
I did give you a ride in the car the other day.
You did.
The new car.
Yes, I got to be the first one to ride in it. You're the first one to drive it, but I don't need to drive it. I just want to. I love that it has dyno, dyno
onboard
screen,
dyno.
onboard dyno. Oh my God, it's so freaking cool. Love it. Love it. Okay. Oh gosh. James asked about your thoughts on IMCA. I don't think we're going to go there today.
No, I mean, I've got nothing against IMCA per se, not meaning to rhyme. But I don't know. I mean, that shit started out in California just before I left there in 95. And I'm not a fan. I mean, did it make racing good in the Midwest? Yeah, absolutely. Did it make racing good anywhere else? Nope, not at all.
Well, okay, I'm gonna throw a slightly different opinion at this. Mm-hmm. Is that, yeah, you're right. It started back when you were leaving California. Yeah. So how long has that been? Like 95? 95
is when we moved
right?
here. Yeah.
So 95, 2005.
So it's 25 years.
25 years. And now I may not always love...
Well, I mean, it was becoming prevalent.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. When I correct myself, it was becoming prevalent there. It started before that. Obviously.
Yeah, but what I would say about it is that we don't always love IMCA rules, period. I mean, we just don't always love them from any standpoint. But one thing I do like is the fact that at least the rules are the rules. And that the
Depending
rules...
on what you pay.
No, but okay, that's a lot different than having 19 series out there with slightly different rules, which means you have to buy tires, you have to buy a different carburetor, you're running different fuel, and you can't even go across the street to run a fucking race because your rules are different.
I'm just not.
So IMCA, at least you can race from the Midwest to California down to Texas with the same rules everywhere. I get it. There's always going to be discrepancies. There's always going to be drama. There's always going to be something that isn't perfect. And I don't think there's a perfect solution. But I think having that versus the fracturing is not. That's what I'm talking about.
That was fractured now, but I mean, I'm not a big fan of a racing sanctioning body as somebody who produces product. Who, in order for that product to be legal in their series, you have to pay money. It has nothing to do about performance or cost. It has to do with how much money you pay the series. So, no, I'm not an IMCA fan by any means. Does it serve its purpose? Yes, it does. Am I going to, sit here and bash shit on? No, other than that, what I just said, no.
Well, there's positives and there's negatives. But I think you could say the same thing about a lot of different series as far as when you talk about a performance spec. We know I come from architecture, so we would have a performance spec, which would mean, hey, I want a paint that's this color. I don't care what brand you use, versus, hey, here's this particular item that has to be approved.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It's a balance between where does the money come from to support the series and for paying points funds. I mean, I think there's a lot of intricacies to this. I don't know that there's a perfect solution, but I think it's just I think that there's certainly some positives.
It's got its niche. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
not a fan. No.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Willie says got 604 valve springs in stock. I'll be needing a set. Yes, I just got some of those. I need to update the website, so I'll get those going.
You've got them in stock right now.
Yeah, but I don't have match sets.
Oh, yeah, match sets.
But I've had the 604 springs in stock. And Christopher's opinion is IMCA is socialist racing.
I tend to agree with that.
Okay. I don't know what a perfect solution for a racing series looks like. I mean, what do you do? Do you open it all up? How do you support your sponsors if you're going to let their competitors come in? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, if their product holds up, the product holds up.
Okay. Well, I mean, what is the goal of a racing series?
Well, to get money, obviously.
Yeah. So you don't think that the companies that support the racing series should be promoted and supported?
They should be promoted and supported, but it shouldn't be you have to pay to be legal.
Oh, and I'm going to agree with you there. Yeah, I mean, like your Muffler.
I mean,
well, here was the thing.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
I'm going to talk specifically about what was going on, and we're talking about your anti-reversion muffler.
Correct. The Dynatech was making at the time, which was owned by Speedway Motors.
Right. Well, here was the thing: is that when you looked at their specifications in the rules, that there was no reason for them to be illegal. But I think you can say that about lots of things. I mean, you look at the Rumley device in Lucas. They
wanted more money from Speedway, is what it came down to.
No, that's never even come up.
Yes, it did. That was the whole freaking thing. That was the whole damn thing with Dynatech. And
how many times I talked to them and they never? I was like, why don't you push for it? You're the title sponsor.
I'm the one that's pushing for it because I want the damn thing sold. And Dynatech's telling me that they want more money from Speedway to make them legal for freaking IMCA.
Okay, they never told me that.
Yes,
and I've had dozens of conversations.
That directly.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm the one that produced or made the damn things for them.
Right. No, I understand that. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they should have been together. Michael says, Kate, any bypass regulators in stock yet? Yes. My KSE bypass regulators came in. So, yep. And I was actually at the shop on Friday and put some bypass regulator kits together. So with the fuel log and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah. So good stuff.
Good for you.
Yeah. Well, you had to show me how to do it. I mean, it was just a matter of screwing some fittings together. But yeah, but I did get my bypass regulators because that was a saga. They ended up being sent to the wrong place, and then I had to hunt them down. And yeah, anyway, they've been difficult.
Well, they sent them to the wrong place by accident.
Right.
And but they got signed for, and somebody accepted them.
Yeah. So
which they thought they were delivered to the right place.
Well, and I hope they get them back because that wasn't. It's not like I ordered 2 of them.
Right.
I mean, I ordered 20 of them.
Total shit show.
So if you order 20 of them, that's all.
Yeah.
Those aren't cheap, you know. It doesn't take long. All right. Any other words of wisdom? What are your words of wisdom this week, Steve?
I've got none.
Really?
No.
Because you're super wise.
Can't think of anything.
Huh.
If you want it, go get it. That's my words of wisdom. Because that's what I fucking did last week. So. Yeah.
If you want it, work for it. Earn it.
There's that too. But.
Yeah. Work for it. Earn it. All those good things. I got to drive you to the dealership, which was like an hour away because that's where they had one. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Or the exact one I wanted. But.
Well, if you're going to go that far, you might as well get the exact one you want, not just some crappy one. So, yeah. Well, cool deal. I think it's time for us to hit Amendment 21. Go there next.
Yep.
Next up on the docket. So, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Give us a review over on iTunes and subscribe on
hopefully not
iTunes.
A 0.
Huh.
Like I said, hopefully not a 0.
A 0 for what?
The iTunes fucking.
Oh no, 5-star review. 5-star review, please. Yeah. But say words. Words helpful too.
Yeah.
Words help.
Words.
Yeah, use your words. say your words. Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And we'll be back next Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube. And we look forward to seeing you there.
Yep.
Have a great week.
See you.